Om. So currently we are studying chapter number 4, attachment versus detachment. And we are on the subtopic 2, physical level. So how to practice detachment at body level. See, in the previous chapter, he talked about how attachment is calamitous. Then obviously we understand opposite of attachment is detachment. But then what is detachment? So it's not an easy concept. If you don't know, if you know, you cannot live life without detachment in any facet of life. But to remove that initial misunderstanding takes time. So when we discussed the difference between attachment and love, it's not easy to begin with because of so much of misunderstanding. So similarly, what is detachment? Since childhood, we have heard so many distorted versions. So it's not easy to understand it to begin with. But once you know, then it's no big deal. So therefore, this in-depth analysis is required. So the first topic was what is the concept of detachment at material level. So we discussed, there were so many points. And last week we covered physical level, that body is just means to an end, which you need to keep in good repair. It goes without saying. If body is not fit, what can you achieve? But it is means to an end. I mean, you can't become possessive about it. That is detachment. Secondly, body is nothing but matter, and it is bound to decay. It is susceptible to disease, decay, and ultimately it has to perish. So if you do not understand this, you will suffer. Then we talked about the constant push and pull between sense objects and the senses. So there are five senses. There is a push towards the sense objects, and sense objects, they are pulling us, they're pulling the senses, five senses. And if you do not have a strong intellect, then you will succumb to sense objects. So intellect has to monitor this contact. There is nothing wrong in contacting the world, contacting the sense objects. You like good food, I mean, you eat good food once in a while. I mean, what's wrong with that? But that contact has to be monitored by the intellect. And if intellect is weak, then you'll be victimized by senses. This is what you see happening in the world. And when it is pronounced, it is called addiction. You could be addicted to drugs, you could be addicted to gambling, you could be addicted to shopping, you could be addicted to traveling, you could be addicted to, I don't know, me, I haven't seen so much here, but people constantly chew that tobacco. I mean, in India we call it pan parag. Here I don't know what is it. I mean, here also you see. I mean, I have seen people chewing tobacco. It's an addiction. So could be anything. So if you use intellect, you understand any pronounced contact with the sense object. if it is not backed by the intellect, it is you are digging your own grave. The food, if you don't watch out your food contact, I mean, what is going to happen to your body? Yeah, how the maximum obesity in the world is in America. Every other person is obese. Why? Here you understand the reason. It's not your contact with the food is not monitored by your intellect. And if you go on indulging in sense objects, you get diminishing returns. I mean, with every contact, the pleasure content reduces. And if you really stretch it, if you really go on indulging, then you become neutralized to anything world has to offer. Nothing gives you that kick. Then it leads to depression, suicidal thoughts, and all that, because what is there to excite you? Nothing. But if contact is discrete, then you can enjoy sense object for the rest of your life. And the last point was, if your sense contact is not monitored by your intellect, then you end up adding more desires. And innocently, you are adding thousands and thousands of desires for the sense objects because there are so many sense objects. So you are going away from the very purpose of life. The purpose of life is to eliminate our desires eventually. That you are adding desire every single day. So it is a lose lose situation. So this analysis helps you to be detached. Are you following the thought flow? So, any questions on this subtopic? Yeah, I'm glad some of you are discussing this topic. That's what Uncle Sachdeva told me. Small group discussion on Thursday. I think the group had group discussed some of the main concepts, right? So that's the way to go about. Rest of the class, are we clear? Excellent. Let's move on to the next subtopic, emotional level. So Raji is going to play the whole paragraph. Then we will try to understand the key points.
Emotional level. Another problem with the mind's attachment is its emotional bondage with virtually anything it contacts in life. One becomes attached to family, particularly spouses, children, and even pets, little realizing that attachment causes frustration, suffering, thus yielding to a variety of attachments. The entire world is afflicted with distress and depression. In addition to the attachments, the mind houses a host of emotions. It ranges from affection, love, passion, hate, greed, anger, jealousy, etc. Emotions cause suffering and sorrow if they have their own way without intellectual governance and guidance. They would not pose a problem unless one turns emotional. Likewise, passions are all right until one becomes passionate. So too, sentiments are good as long as one is not sentimental. Your feelings and emotions, therefore, require your intellect's constant surveillance for maintaining peace and happiness.
See, extremely important part of everybody's life. And very few people then know how to manage their emotions. So those who are attending for a long time, we often give this example that plants, they have no emotions. See, it is also life, but life in a deep sleep state. When we are sleeping, it's not that we are dead. Body is functioning, everything is happening normally, but we are not conscious of what is happening to us. So similarly, plant also is life, but it's life in unconscious form. So therefore, it has no emotions. But when it comes to animals, you can clearly see they have so many emotions, especially certain animals like dog. Dog is nothing but a bundle of emotions. So many animals are there. Monkey, we all laugh, but if you observe, it's nothing but a bundle of emotions. So animals have emotions, but they are affected by their emotions. They can't manage their emotions, good emotions, negative emotions. They are victimized. You have a dog, you leave him in a dog kennel and you go somewhere. I mean, it goes into a big depression, most dogs. You also care for a dog, you have fine emotions, but you're not depressed. You're having a good time, but dog is having a worse time. You can't tell him, what is there, I'm going to come back. So by observation, you understand that animals, they have emotions and they are affected by their emotions. As a human being, you're supposed to have best of emotions, just emotions, the kind of emotions which human being can have, no other creature can have. But if you do not supervise your emotions, then you become emotional. See, get this difference carefully. Emotions is not a problem. In fact, having emotions is a virtue, it's a plus point. If you don't have emotions, you're a plant, you're wood, you're stone. But if you are affected by emotions, then the problem starts. So emotions, they belong to the mind. Mind has no direction, no dimension. Only if you have a strong intellect, you can supervise your emotion, any emotion. So if intellect is weak, then you are victimized by your emotions. And this is what is happening to every other person, especially in a close relationship, because that is where emotions manifest. And if you're not able to manage your emotions with your spouse, with your family, with your relatives, even with your colleagues, I mean, all hell can break loose. Not to talk about when you become emotional, I mean, you can act completely discreetly, isn't it? So many cases we have seen. Extreme example of this is people committing suicide. Is nothing but an extreme emotion, and for a time being, intellect is absent. 0% intellect. There is no such thing called as premeditated suicide. You check, I don't know, the calendar. You discuss with the press what's the right time. We use the word muhurt. I mean, what's the auspicious time for committing a suicide? Say bye bye to everybody, and nicely, peacefully, you commit suicide. It doesn't happen that way. Emotions completely overpower your personality, and you don't know what are you doing. So the extreme harm is you take your own life. And even as we talk, thousands of people have committed suicide, isn't it? So it's not just a theory. But here we understand the root cause of it. Mind completely overpowers the emotion, whatever could be the reason. So understand this difference. Having emotions is a virtue, but if you become emotional, then the problem starts. Then emotions become detrimental, they become your enemy. Otherwise, they're your friend. So it all depends on what direction your emotions are taking. So if emotion is concentrated only on your personality, it's detrimental. It becomes, it's like a poison, and it can create host of negative emotions towards others or even towards yourself, like self-pity, towards others like anger, jealousy, rage. Too much you are thinking about yourself. So that's the direction it is taking, only towards yourself. But if the direction is towards others, you think about your family genuinely, you identify with them, your community, your country, humanity. So it becomes positive emotion. It's called as noble emotion, like love, compassion, identification. And when emotion goes towards God or supreme reality, it becomes divine, meaning it is universal. It is for all. Divinity meaning it's the core of everybody's personality, all beings. So when it is directed towards divinity, emotion becomes divine, or it's called as universal emotion. So emotion has to be governed by the intellect. See, we keep on giving same examples so that you understand the concept. I mean, I knew one boy long time back. He was a good tennis player at school level or a state level. And on his 18th birthday, it happened to be the final match, and he was a good player. And it so happened that his opponent was nowhere near him. And he was excited. Birthday, his parents were there, his siblings were there. So he wanted to give that trophy, lawn tennis trophy, to his parents because it is his birthday. And that boy told me he used to attend classes long time back. He said he lost match in 15-20 minutes. His opponent beat him black and blue. He became so emotional. He could not. Mind, when once you become emotional, mind becomes agitated. See, this is the explanation. When mind is agitated, you can't think. You cannot be productive. Your action suffers. So he was only thinking about his parents and his trophy. I mean, he should be concentrating on the ball. So very practical example. See, if you take a plank, wooden plank, let's say 50 feet long and maybe, I don't know, 2 feet wide, 1 or 2 inches thick. You go to Home Depot and talk to the consultant there, and he gives you the best plank. And we take it with us for our May retreat, you know, Glen Arbor Homestead. And there is an exercise on mind and intellect. I mean, we are not going to do such thing. Otherwise, people will worry, especially those who are volunteering, how to carry that plank. Imagine, all of us will walk, jog, sprint on that plank as long as it is on the ground. But imagine we take it to the middle of Lake Michigan, where it is like at the deepest point. Raise it to the height of 500 feet. I am magnifying. And then we are told, okay, go from one end to the other end of the plank, same plank. How many of us will go? None of us will be able to go. Maybe one or two. That too, I don't know, heart in the mouth. So what happens when the plank is on the ground? No big deal. Your mind is calm. Intellect is available. But when plank is raised to the crazy height, you know, the precarious position, mind becomes disturbed, mind is agitated. So when mind is agitated, intellect cannot think and you cannot act. We apply this principle in every situation, every scenario. So this is what happens when you become emotional. When somebody is sick in your family, you know, see, you need one strong person who is not emotional to take care of the person who is sick. Especially, it is a serious problem. It could be like stage 3, stage 4 cancer, or whatever it may be. Usually, I mean, yes, there is a patient. It's not easy to take care of such a patient, but to take care of family member becomes more difficult. A spouse is so disturbed, or whatever, siblings are so disturbed that they can't. So these are some practical examples. Okay, that's what happened to King Lear. We often give this example, right? And Shakespeare uses beautiful words. He says like Lear went mad, King Lear went mad, literally he went mad, mad because of his emotions. Could not manage his emotions, could not control his emotions. And that brought about his downfall. In fact, he destroyed himself. The king of England, he was roaming on the streets. Othello is another example in a relationship. Hardly you see anybody, I'm talking about husband and wife relationship, which is without any problem. I'm not saying all relationships there is a problem, but what's the problem? There's only one problem. What is that? In 15 minutes, I've been talking. Nobody understood what I said.
Attachment, emotional attachment.
Emotions, not able to manage
Emotions.
emotions. You don't fight with your colleague. I mean, who fights with the colleague? There are people who fight with everybody. We're not talking about that. But the CEO of a company, he comes home and it's a totally different person. So you could be successful in your professional life, but totally insane in your personal life. Good many people are, you understand?
Yes.
Because you become like a child there. You're not able to manage your emotions. So that's what happened to Othello. He was not an ordinary person. He was a general in the army, well decorated soldier. I mean, it's not easy to fight a war, But when it came to his personal life, he messed up. Messed up is an understatement, big time. Absolutely no control on his emotions and for no rhyme and reason. That's the tragedy. So he ended up killing his spouse, Desdemona, and he committed a suicide in the end. So these are two powerful examples. So, and when emotions are strong, when I say strong, meaning when they are controlled by your intellect, it becomes strength. So, therefore, a good leader has to have control on his emotions. Otherwise, he or she cannot manage anything. A person who is impulsive, I think, person who is emotional, is not fit to be a leader. Even at home, being a parent, if you are emotional, you are not fit to be a parent. How many times you have heard Swamiji saying, you should not have children? People, they misunderstand. Are you competent to be a parent? That's the question. Most parents, they are not. They're totally emotional when it comes to relating to their children. Why? Because intellect is not developed. But once you have a powerful intellect, then you can lead at home, at work. nation, society, same principle applies. See, we again give this example many times. So long time back, 40, 50 years back, there was a war between India and the neighbor. India never fights with anybody, but when you are attacked, you have to defend yourself. So it was headed by Field Marshal Manek Shaw, a highly decorated soldier. In World War II, he took 9 or 10 bullets from the Japanese in his stomach and he survived. So that kind of a person. So he was heading the army. And when the attack began, so same day in the evening, there was, I mean, everybody is panicking naturally. And he is the one who is responsible for leading the whole nation. So he called for the meeting in his office. 2, 3 hours, whatever, he gave directions. And at 7 or 7:30 in the evening, he went home. Had good meal with his wife, went to the army mess, had few drinks with his colleagues. Others, they are not able to sleep. And that war was won within 14 days. It's a record, 14 days. Fight we can't win in 14 days with your spouse. Forget about the war. So it's a typical leadership quality. That's what I am trying to tell you. So the leader, if leader is calm, composed, meaning his emotions are under control, I mean, he had best of emotions to defend his nation. They were perfectly under the control of his intellect. So that's what we learn. So it becomes a pillar of strength if emotions are supervised by your intellect. And for that, you need a powerful intellect to begin with. See, when your intellect is weak, you only think about yourself. Your emotions are only towards you. Can you give any example from all of your parent? So can you give an example of this? I have almost answered my question 80%. When intellect is not developed, you think only about yourself. Can you give an example? It's a psychology.
Maybe sometimes we are selfish, like we don't want to help our kids, like we give excuses, like we are sick, we don't want to the sometimes we don't want to do our basic duties like cooking for them, or that's
Mhm.
that's that's one example I feel.
You're not wrong, but 99.99% parent would do that. Overdo that,
Okay.
in fact. That's the problem. Underdoing is not a problem. Overdoing is a problem. I'm talking about something else. Where do you see it clearly manifested where intellect is not developed? You think only about yourself.
When you're a child,
Yeah, excellent. Who said that?
my name is Jackie.
Yeah. Perfect. See, child is innocent, so nobody cares, Ego is not developed, so it looks funny. But child could be, in fact, most children are very selfish. Not intentionally, innocently, because intellect is not yet developed. So therefore, every home we see 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, the way they talk to parents, they torture them and all that. We all have done that. Only thing is we are, if we bring our parents, they will give lecture on what is selfishness. They are looking at us. Intellect is not developed. But once intellect starts developing, the same child, I mean, how you relate to your parents totally differently. The same child takes care of his parents for the rest of his life. So that's the correlation. So when you develop your intellect, or as you start developing your intellect, then that emotion transforms from personal to impersonal. See, otherwise, you're just thinking about yourself. I. And as intellect develops, you are able to accommodate the welfare of others. That is growth. That is spiritual growth. So you think about the welfare of your family, your colleagues. You can think about your society, community. And when it is really developed, you think about the welfare of animals also. That's the ultimate intellect. And again, there are so many stories. I mean, these stories, they should not be taken literally, but they have a message. Like a saint, he was walking in a village, and somebody was beating the cow very badly. And when he came home, his disciples, they just wanted to give him oil massage. And they saw marks, 10, 12 deep marks on his back. It's an example, don't take it literally. This is how people get into superstition. So that one whip on a cow, he felt that whiplash, you know. So how can you not have emotions towards animals? But for that, you need to have a powerful intellect so that you think about the welfare of others. So this is the psychology. So the knowledge of Vedanta strengthens your intellect. And when your intellect is developed, you identify with a large circle of people. Otherwise, it is just you, that is yourself, maximum my family. We often draw concentric circles. Circle 1, circle 2, circle 3, circle 4. The first circle is I. There are people who can't even think about their family members. There's so many examples like that. This is my right. Wife says, husband says, this is my right. So you're not identifying with a person with whom you're staying 24/7. Forget about others. As you evolve, yes, you are able to identify with your spouse. You understand that any relationship, I have to do my duties, serve and sacrifice. So, family member, you identify with your colleagues, with your society. Next circle, with community, nation, all human beings. Why only all human beings? Everybody. That is divinity, that is universal. Divine emotion means emotion for the whole world, which includes welfare of all animals, which includes environment. Everybody talks about environment. A person who thinks only about himself, what can he talk about environment? And usually, I mean, not as a rule, usually these are the people who talk about environment. So, let's protest. No, I'm not saying everybody is like that, but even when they are protesting, they don't understand it has to be done by you. We all go to the gym. Men's locker room, when they are shaving, find out how many people switch off the tap. Rarely I have seen somebody switching off the tap, isn't it? Even this morning, I was shaving, I was observing. I said, oh, yeah, today there's a class. I should not forget to give this example. Hot water tap running, you're shaving. And what environment are we talking about? So I'm just thinking about myself. So when we say welfare of the whole world, animals, these objects and beings, everything is included in that. That is universal emotion. That is divine emotion. Otherwise, it is mental sickness. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I mean, this. You may do that. I'm not saying you should not do that. But person who is doing that, he will see Krishna or divinity in everything, in all objects and things. So only when you develop intellect with this knowledge, slowly your circle of identification increases. Any questions? See, each point is a topic in itself. Can't explain beyond a point. I'm just throwing ideas at you. So there is so much to think about.
Amici, I have one question. Like you said, right, when we are outside with our colleagues, we behave like we are so sweet, like we say honey and we behave very nicely. But when we come back home, stressed out with the work, we don't have that mindset, right? We behave very rudely with our husband and whatever kids we have. So how to improve on that, Amici?
See, it is when you are interacting with your colleagues or your boss,
Mm-hmm.
your intellect is whatever intellect is there is available, if not fully, partially. So I mean, you understand that you can't lose temper with your colleagues or with your boss.
Yes,
That much intellect understands. But
yes,
when you come home, you keep your, don't take it personally, you keep your intellect in the office locker and you come home.
yes,
You're operating only at a level of the mind, most people. So that's the problem. So to answer your question, you need to develop your intellect. There is no other way, because emotions, they belong to the mind. That's what we said in the beginning. Any action is backed either by mind or intellect. Correct? So
yes, sir.
most of our actions, they are backed by they are propelled by mind, because intellect is not powerful to manage our emotions, likes and dislikes, whims and fancies. So the theorem is same. When intellect is weak, when mind overpowers the personality, it will manifest in various ways. So right now we are talking about emotions. But if you go to the previous topic, same thing. Person, he is not able to manage his sensual contact because mind has overpowered. So the root cause is mind. So when it comes to the emotions also, the root cause is mind. So you have to strengthen your intellect, and this knowledge helps you to make it strong. But being aware is the first step to begin with. Means, okay, yes, I'm losing my temper, I'm becoming very emotional, at least you're aware that there is a
Yes.
problem. Then comes you put efforts and you fix it. Those who don't have this knowledge, they are not aware. Whole life they are functioning like that. So therefore, we find conflicts, disharmony, or extreme frustration, mental agitations, and all that. So just build your intellect with this knowledge.
Thank you.
Any questions? All clear. So clear. Good. So
I have a question.
yes.
When you do the prayers, you start with the prayer, understanding, knowledge, get emotion. As time passes, you get emotional, tears comes out. And that tears, what do you think about that? You become emotional at that point, completely for that. What do you think about that?
No, I would say it is a positive thing, because emotions are for something higher. But if you become emotional, then there is a problem. Then positive emotion also can become negative. Negative in the sense you won't be able to act. So therefore, I give example of Field Marshal Manek Shaw. He has best of emotions for his country, But if he had started crying because of those emotions, I mean, war would have been lost in 2 days. Parents have best of emotions for their children. Positive is positive. It's not negative. But we all know, I mean, end of the day, what happens? Better not get into a discussion. World War III every other week with best of emotions. Or you end up totally spoiling them. You destroy your own child with best of emotions. So though emotion is positive, you can't do, I mean, it could be counterproductive. So similarly, spiritual emotion, you feel like doing something for the community, especially if you have this knowledge. How can you not give this knowledge to the whole world? But if it is not supervised by the intellect, the planning, the programming, what to do, whom to give, whom not to give, it will be disastrous, isn't it? So when I was in Canada, long time back, 16, 17 years back. So I was about to enter my house. So 2 or 3 people, they follow me. And they asked me, what is your name? I said, my name is Amit. Where are you from originally? I said, from India. Do you believe in Christ? Because you're in the Christian land right now, you better believe in Christ. I didn't say I didn't believe. To which I said, sir, I went to a Catholic school my whole life. So without believing in Christ, how could I have studied in Catholic school? See, it's a positive emotion. I'm not criticizing them. You and I can do that. Yes, you have that devotion towards Christ, towards Krishna, towards anybody. You should have. It depends on which part of the world you come. You got that fixation. You have to have that fixation. It is positive, but the same thing can become negative. Are you with me? So what if it is not supervised by the intellect? Somebody believes in Christ, somebody believes in Krishna, somebody wants to believe in Buddha, somebody doesn't want to believe in anybody. It's okay. So for that you need positive. You need powerful intellect. You know. So I may cry with tears in my eyes, Krishna, 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 whatever. And anybody who does not believe in Krishna, I may go against him. I'm magnifying, that's not what you're asking, but the discussion becomes complete. So, what is positive, if it is not supervised by intellect, can become negative. And you may not do negative, like the example which I gave, but you will remain mentally disturbed person. So, as far as you are concerned, you won't be able to plan, program your own spiritual growth. Or if you have to help the world with whatever knowledge you are having, could be in any way, you will not be able to execute that because you are mentally disturbed by a positive emotion. So to answer your question, yes, definitely the example you are giving is excellent, it's positive, but it has to be controlled, it has to be supervised by the intellect, the positive emotion, even the divine emotion.
Amiji, can you comment on these, just the example you just gave? People walked, followed you to your house. Was their
Correct.
emotion positive? Were they being emotional? Were they being like out of line?
No, it is a positive emotion, but since it is not supervised by the intellect, it takes negative hatred towards others. It's like everybody should follow Vedanta. Anybody who doesn't want to follow Vedanta, I mean, is the highest knowledge, nothing to do with you and me. It's eternal principles. There are people who criticize. I'm in this field, I know what I'm saying. People, so I have heard people criticizing this knowledge vehemently. My own guru, Swamiji, I mean, so many people, I say so many, there are people who criticize him. You know what I'm talking. I mean, what do I do? I mean, don't associate with those people, you know. So it applies to you and me also. So are we clear?
Yes, thank you.
Amiji, one question, Amiji.
Yes.
So, when it comes to a selfish emotion, we understand that there is a self-pity and all these things, negative things are coming out of that. And when it becomes little bit of others, including like, I mean, in terms of thinking about what others want, others things, it becomes a positive emotions. But there is there is the next step of emotions where you need to redirect the entire emotions towards divinity. That's called devotion, right? So how do we do that, Anuj?
See, that's what I said. What is divinity? Divinity is nothing but the substratum of the whole world.
Mhm.
So what is substratum? What is, when we say substratum of the whole world, meaning substratum of all objects and beings.
Mhm.
So if you, let's say somebody is not selfish, he is unselfish, he is thinking about his society, his community. Let's say somebody has identified with the whole human race. But what about animals? So it's not universal. You may say that, I'm thinking of God. My emotion is divinity. You have not understood what is divinity. Just a word. What is divinity? Divinity is nothing but the same divinity is in everybody, you and me and all creatures. So this is how you take it to the next level. Identify with all creatures. Their sorrow is your sorrow. Their joy is your joy. Unfortunately, you are with this subject. See how many times we have discussed, when we buy a car. I mean, I learned this from Swamiji. I mean, the first thing is whether it has got vegan leather. It's not easy. Some of you know what I am saying. To what extent we are going. That is divinity in practice. What you eat, I'm not getting into the discussion. You may say Krishna, Krishna, and be the most destructive person as far as other creatures are concerned. That is where you put efforts to make emotions truly divine, universal. That's the poem all about. You know that poem. Which poem talks about this? Second year of e-learning. The most senior student is here among all of us. Rather, he is going to be one of the small group discussion monitors for the retreat.
Sir,
Uh, Abu Ben Adam.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say take out his name. You saved yourself. There is a competition in the. Everybody was talking about I love God, I love God. Abu Ben Adam never made such a statement. He said, but definitely I can say that I love all creatures. And when results were declared, God declared him to be the winner, not you and I. It's poetry. That is divinity, just a word. So how it gets translated into day-to-day life, identification with one and all. So therefore, I gave example of shaving in a locker. I mean, what divinity has got to do with that? That is divinity. Who is a divine person who closes his tap while shaving? Or a lady who closes the tap while cooking? You can apply your own examples. So that is divinity. Is that what you're asking or something else?
Yes, Samiji, like very well, like Deepaji said, like she literally cries when she prays to Krishna or anything. That sort of an emotion is not there. So I was just wondering, like, if that is not there, is that mean that the devotion is not there?
Have you seen Swamiji crying?
No,
Have you seen me crying?
no.
I'm not talking about me or Swamiji. See, I'm not, neither I'm talking about Deepaji here. I mean, you see, emotional person may cry and mm, may not be spiritual at all. That does not mean it depends on each one's personality. So tears coming out, somebody is crying, meaning what? He is emotional.
Emotion.
And what are we learning here? You must have best of emotions and not become emotional. So even that itself is it becomes negative. You're becoming emotional. You must control your emotions. So therefore, I said it is positive as well as it is negative, both.
Mm.
It's not a parameter that you should cry and they should control your emotions. You love your kids so much that the moment you see them, you start crying with love and affection, and then you control your emotions. Too much emotions. So that is where intellect comes into play. And it's not necessary. Each one will express his or her emotions in a different way. Person may have best of emotions, but he may come across as indifferent to others, especially people who have misunderstood. You get my point? In a relationship, you take example, a person may genuinely love his spouse, but spouse may misunderstand him or her. Why? Because he doesn't call me honey, he doesn't call me bunny, he doesn't buy me expensive gifts. When he goes on a tour, he doesn't text me. He always forgets about wedding anniversary. The perfect candidate for actually is the best lover. When you feel one with another person, why you have to express that? But 99.99% of such people will be misunderstood. So you are lost in her example, Deepaji's example. So therefore, I said, though it is positive, it is negative. From our Vedanta standpoint, it is negative. Though it is a emotion towards higher, the moment you are becoming emotional, it is negative. It will bring you down. The moment you become emotional, it is mental agitations. Trying to give you from trying to explain from various angles. But each one's personality is different.
Amici, I notice like if I'm really tired or something has come up that I just is new and I might not know how to manage the situation or whatever. But there's definitely emotion related to that and it just kind of stays and it's hard to move through. You're saying think of the divinity. Think of something bigger, like a universal love concept, kind of bring yourself out of it or help yourself see the objectivity in it in those types of situations.
No, you need to manage that emotion.
Mhm.
Forget about at that moment. Forget about divinity. See, let's say there is a tricky situation in your office. There's a meeting, there's a project, there's a deadline. People, they are losing their temper. I'm just giving you example from day-to-day life. So you need to manage that emotion. That how not to become anxious, how not to worry. About result. I have to focus on the present. So this is how you deal with that particular situation, which could be emotionally charged. At that moment, you can't think of, how will it help if you think about higher? No, in fact, you have to think about lower. By lower, I'm meaning that particular situation. So it is same. Wherever you feel you're becoming emotional, you need to use your intellect to manage that particular emotion. Then only you can deal with that situation, however chaotic it may be. Is that what you are asking?
Yeah, but I would say most of the time, say if it's a work situation like that, it's not resolved necessarily in that moment. But if it's a long day, my intellect is not available to me, but it still sticks with me that there's something unresolved there so I guess moving through the emotion is more, I guess, tricky. And so I'm trying to see what Vedanta is saying to help move through that, because otherwise I think for me at least I can tend to just shove it down, just say no, okay, that doesn't matter, I don't care, blah blah blah. But that's not it. It's just I'm not dealing with it, kind of thing. So just kind of help recognizing that something's unresolved and how to move through it.
See, again, answer is same. It's nothing but intellectual analysis. See, when we say intellect should supervise the mind, it's a very general explanation. That what is it? What does it entail? So you have to tell yourself, I have done whatever has to be done. And that's it. So the outcome of every action is not within your control. There are so many factors over which you have no control. But you do what you ought to do to the best of your ability, and you get out. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha. Chapter 6, Bhagavad Gita, verse number 1. You read that. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha. You do what you ought to do to the best of your ability in any situation, at home, at work, and then you just get out. So you have the satisfaction of having done what ought to be done. So it is the mind which lingers. So only when you have a powerful intellect, you can educate yourself like this. So that is further explanation. So again, it is intellect educating the mind. It is mind which gets disturbed, emotional or whatever. So you have that satisfaction of, I have done my level best. And there are so many factors over which I have no control. But I know that as per my capacity, I have exerted myself. So it's like you're managing your emotion by lecturing your mind. So it is intellect which should lecture your mind. You okay?
Yep. Thank you.
Amitji?
Yes.
So there are some situations where we have to express an emotion
Correct.
to, kind of for the good of, like for even the child, sometimes
Yeah.
whatever you're understanding, whatever, sometimes the anger has to be expressed.
Yeah.
So, so that when that's not becoming emotional, or is it becoming emotional with the control of the intellect? Is it, how do we?
No, then I'm saying you're blowing hot and cold. The moment you use the word emotional, this is how we are defining becoming emotional. That means there is no intellect. But there are situations in life where you have to use emotions. I mean, child cannot understand, let's say, the 3 4 year old baby, 2 year old baby. A mother has to express her emotions, which is different from emotional. Most people, they become emotional. Whether baby wants it or not, mother wants it. And it's other way around. Similarly with your spouse. Yes, you may have best of feelings, but if your spouse doesn't understand that, you have to express emotions. However odd it may seem. Hi, hello, honey. What nonsense. You tell yourself, But though you are free from all this, don't worry. But I'm giving you examples. Or it could be whatever, some kind of expression. Or in a workplace, sometimes there are people who need that appreciation, they want that appreciation. So you need to, you may send them a card or whatever. So it depends on the situation. For that, you need intellect. If you express wrong emotions with wrong people, you will get into trouble. It could be counterproductive for them as well as for you. It's like you saying hi to tiger, like, hi honey, I love you. I'm magnifying. I mean, what will happen? So there are people who are self-centered, manipulative. If you express emotions towards them, they may take advantage of you. So that one has to be very careful about that. See, when I was in college, so there was one of my colleagues, co-student, very very friendly, intelligent girl, friendly with everybody. But most boys used to misunderstand her. She was so friendly, so they used to think, oh my god, she approaching me in a different way. Same thing, same example Swamiji gave. I don't know, in e-learning about Sonaji, her nature, when she was like 17, 18, 19, very free with everybody. So Swamiji, one particular thing, he just looked at her, she got the message. So we can go on multiplying examples. But where you need to express emotions, you have to express emotions. Even negative emotion, it's not negative, like anger, I mean, if child at 13, 14-year-old is not, you tried everything, logic, reason, appeal, and not listening, then you have to use anger just to discipline, which is different from losing your anger. That is becoming emotional. So therefore, I said, how can I become emotional and also how to use intellect? No, you're talking, you're blowing hot and cold. So to other people, it may seem that you are losing anger. But as far as you are concerned, you are using anger to discipline that person, that situation demands. At home, at work, could be anywhere. As a ruler of a nation, sometimes you have to be strict. No nonsense. Now, I'm not getting into the details, but I mean, this is what seems to be happening in America right now. I'm not saying which situation is right, which situation is wrong. Don't get me that. But if some nonsense is happening in the nation, I mean, how can you not be strict? And there are people who will misunderstand, you know. But to govern the nation, you have to do something, isn't it? Otherwise, there will be anarchy. Now, don't ask me about this, about that. I'm not, I am discussing as a principle. Otherwise, somebody will ask, what about this is what is, no, I'm not discussing politics here. I'm discussing the principle. This is how India was taken over by. This is why we were ruled for 1500 years, 1800 years. As an Indian, you should know this. Flood of emotions towards others. The person, I don't know the name, like he attacked 6-7 times, and he was conquered by the Indian king. And he magnanimously said, okay, I forgive you. And he let him go. The same person came back after 1 year. He committed genocide after genocide. And the same king, he executed him publicly, tortured him and executed. So that emotion, positive emotion of forgiving became counterproductive. So you have to use, see, we can go on multiplying examples. It's a good question, but I am trying to give the theorem. Any emotion has to be manifested by intellect. When you manifest, it has to be backed by intellect. Otherwise, it could become counterproductive. Your intention could be well, you mean well, but still it could be counterproductive for other person as well as for you. So that's the point.
Thank you.
All right, 11:10. So at some stage we need to stop. So go home and read these 2 or 3 subtopics. And next week we'll start with egoistic level. Have a good day, all of you.
Thanks,
Thank
Amit.
you,
Namaste.
Amity.
Thank you,
Have a
Amit
good
ji.
day.
Thank you, Amaji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.